the early days. I believe his great capacity to make change. Some people say, oh, well, but you see, he's made too much money and therefore he's no longer a proper citizen, if you like. Cyril was sent out from South Africa because he was Mandela's choice to follow him. The ANC leaders thought differently. They wanted Thabo Mbeki. And so Cyril was sent out into the commercial world to learn about commerce. And like it or not, without commerce, you can't have wealth. Without wealth, you can't have the change. And change is not simply a figure of speech. It's about people's livelihoods on a day-by-day basis. So I have great hopes in South Africa. Less in other parts of the continent. But nevertheless, I think so long as people like yourselves are active, I think the future is going to be good. So I hope you enjoy this evening. I hope you enjoy the rest of the time. Enjoy yourself tonight. He's going to do it damn hard the next 2 or 3 days. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Lordship. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to also have a short remark from Dr. Adonis Abud, the Honorary Consul of Serbia, Sierra Leone, who is also a member of the Board of Governors, respecting the former Vice President of Spain. She's a few minutes away, and she would also give a brief remark when she gets in here. And of course, tomorrow you would see President John Mahama, who has arrived this morning, as well as the Undersecretary General for Africa, and also Ms. Falosha Lakija, who will be speaking on Wednesday. And of course, we have the privilege of having here also one of our speakers, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Odiana Jimogovia, is also here. Also, we're going to have a short performance tonight. The queue outside has been very long, so a lot of people are complaining about that. And there's a lot of traffic here tonight. The whole Chogo is a few weeks away, so all the various Commonwealth organizations and bodies or related affiliates are having events in the course of the week leading to the end of the month. This is Commonwealth Week, so it's very busy across London. And so that's explains. But our artists will be in from the queue and they will perform for us. But at this point, let me bring in Dr. Adonis Abud.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm not going to list all the dignitaries I have here because not all of them are here, and I just learned about the Honorable Foreign Minister. Mr. Chairman, Lord Hughes of Woodside, and all protocols observed. It gives me the greatest of pleasure to welcome you to the 5th Commonwealth Africa Summit. Over the next few days, we'll be exploring what has been achieved since the inaugural session of this forum in 2014 to bring Africa's development agenda closer to fruition, as well as chart the way forward towards achieving prosperity in our family of nations. It is true that we often focus on Africa's problems, especially with regards to governance, acute poverty, poor infrastructure, and other inhibiting factors that have relegated a continent with such abundance of resources to the global backyard. Worse still, one of the perceptions that had left Africa lagging behind is the erroneous belief which stems from the days of colonialism and global trade oppression that our continent is still second class. As a result, our efforts were not geared towards transforming a continent of abundant riches into achievements. Diversification was alien to our economic development concepts until it dawned on us that the world needs us more, if not as much as we needed them. However, distinguished guests, does it matter if one slept on the deck or occupied the presidential suite in a Titanic? Ain't everyone on board going down? Ain't we all going to be fish meal at the end of the day? is it not better to save the vessel than compete for better occupancy? Africa, which used to be the hub of civilization and global trade, has been an economic tortoise for centuries as a result of several inhibitive global factors, such as trade and other economic barriers, including protectionism. As sociologists and technological wizards predict a scary and exciting future, today, from all indications, the continent is poised to be the fastest fare by the middle of this millennium. However, it cannot do it alone. It needs the rest of the world to support and encourage it through the increasing efforts of summits such as this, which has not only extended the hands of fellowship, but which has also shown the continent the absolute necessity of developing new economic systems and improving every aspect of its society. Today, its people are becoming aware of the need to leave the back of the curve and appreciate how much dependence is on them to help the world move into the new technological era. Just as in the early civilization, Africa is poised to return to the controlling center of the world trade as it shifts its focus from its limitations to utilizing the broader lessons of its failure towards a promising and credible foundation for the fast approaching exponential age and industrial revolution. No doubt there are still severe contradictions in formulation and execution, and most of the countries on the continent still lack a long-term coherent socio-political policy and a very aggressive fiscal and monetary strategy for the expansion of their gross domestic product. Indications are that policymakers are beginning to appreciate that clearly it is time to reconcile the widening gaps and align the failures with global good practices. From issues ranging from trade and investment, entrepreneurship and job creation, economic development, security and counterterrorism, energy and power, amongst others, I call on this August gathering, and by extension, the rest of the world, to further encourage inclusiveness and assist the continent to overcome its challenges. It is true that only peace and democracy can guarantee the economic growth needed to improve the lives of the large swathe of Africans still in poverty. However, the continued expectation that the continent should practice wholesale Western perception of democracy without taking into account cultural attributes sometimes becomes hindrance to socio-economic and political development in Africa. I call on this gathering to examine the issue and help fashion out how to incorporate our challenges with expectations to facilitate the exponential growth of Africa and its people, such as was the case in Rwanda. It is best that for the collective good and every member state, those who are fast ahead understand this and act in encouraging manner towards our good practices, rather than the bullish and continued condemnation of member states. The future is approaching faster than one can handle. The hour has come to talk less and act more. The hour has come for us to utilize the resources and potentials of Africa and the Commonwealth for the good of its people. It is my prayer that we succeed for sake of the generations unborn. Once again, I welcome you to the 5th Commonwealth Africa Summit. Happy deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adonis Abud. Moving very quickly, I'm also, as I mentioned earlier, the next 10 years have been declared the UN Decade for People of African Descent, and we're also honored to have the Under Secretary General for the UN in Africa, who's going to be addressing us as well tomorrow. Part of the goal for the United Nations is to actually use the next 10 years to celebrate the best of Africa. And across various countries who are members of the United Nations, there's a group called IDPAD, who are responsible for activities celebrating the International Decade for People of African Descent, and also MyPad, which is celebrating individuals and influencers across the Commonwealth and the UN member state who are influencing decision making and lifestyle and policies in their country, who are known as the most influential people of African descent award. I want to quickly bring here the co-chair of the IDPAD Coalition UK, who is the co-chair for the International Decade for People of African Descent, Marlene Ellis, to give us a brief remark.
Thank you. On behalf of the IDPAD Coalition UK, can I first of all thank you? It's a pleasure to be here. And obviously we've all got these common interests. You know, in 2001 there was the Durban Agreement, where all the UN members arrived in South Africa and declared that African slavery was a crime against humanity. Now, in a way, that was a historical moment declaring that, but it was also a failure, the fact that we have now an international decade for people of African descent. Because in a sense, nothing really came from that Durban Agreement. Because the question is, how much can we do then, now, in this decade? The decade is due to end in 2024. Now, this is a great opportunity in many ways to raise our profile, to raise the autonomy of African people, but really it's about how much can we use this platform to do that. And I think on the one hand we've got to say that looking at what happened in the Durban Agreement, where in this country alone made a decision that it didn't want to apologise for African slavery, that we have a great deal to do in 2018, and consider now where we are with Brexit and President Trump and development as the key areas that we should focus on. Now, when we went out to the grassroots community to say, what are you worried about most of all? You know, the overwhelming worry is still around reparations. The notion that we have not addressed our history and how do we use this to recognise the ongoing need for repair about where we are now. And so the coalition has, in a sense, been instructed by the community to focus on reparations and what that looks like in a much broader sense. We make no sort of a recognition of a break between modern slavery and the origin of slavery, but the continuation of this that in fact brings us here. So we will be working on these three particular areas, really focusing on understanding reparations on a much broader level. We're not just concerned about a figure, but the whole implications that the slavery continues to have on our children today. So we want to raise that understanding of reparations on a much more sophisticated level, but we also have to deal with the notion of justice and development. And those things, we can train communities about being appropriate adults, for example, in the criminal justice system, where we have seen the erosion of our civil liberties over the last 8 years in this country. We want the community to work much closer around how we can support each other on these things, where it's not requiring to have solicitors' skills, but things that the community can actually do that it doesn't know it can do in helping in the criminal justice system. And then there's the issue of health. You know, one of the things I've learned about a big priority, a big worry that the community said to us, we want to focus on health and African people. And during this time, I myself became diagnosed with cancer. And I learned in this period that African women are dying twice as much as European women in this country of breast cancer. And that's to do, again, with our own communication, our fears of getting support from the Western system, and our fears about talking about our issues ourselves. So these things, recognition, reparations, the development, really developing how we're going to think much more about our health and justice, the different levels of justice we have to work with in our communities, are the things we will focus on in the ID Coalition UK. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Marlene. Very delighted to hear her passionate speech. Can I please welcome the former Deputy Prime Minister of Spain, who is also the President of the Women for Africa Foundation, and one of our keynote speakers tomorrow, Madam Maria Teresa de la Vega. Thank you so much for being here. Please be seated. Madam Maria flew in from Ghana this morning, and she will be delivering a keynote tomorrow morning before she heads up to Spain later in the week. She'll also be with us in the course of the week as we seek for a better future for our continent, Africa. We've decided to keep our remark till tomorrow because she would also need an interpreter. She probably speaks Spanish, so we would just wait for that to happen. Before we continue, we're going to have some entertainment by Sheep music. But after that, we would then have a brief remark. I think that it would be inappropriate if we have the Honourable Minister here and doesn't say hello to the House ahead of his speech tomorrow, so he will say a brief word to the House, after which we would then have Chief here. Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare for Chief, may I invite the former Minister of Foreign Affairs for Nigeria, His Excellency Odein Ajimogobia.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real pleasure for me to be here amongst you on this 5th Commonwealth Africa Summit. We've heard Africa has a lot of challenges, and there is a tendency to focus on the challenges. It also has a lot of opportunities, and the challenge for leadership in Africa is how to confront the challenges and take advantage of the opportunities. And I look forward very much to hearing all the presentations on the various issues that impact this fundamental notion that we're discussing at this summit. That's really all I'm going to be speaking tomorrow, and that's all I would like to say, to welcome you all, and thank you for having me as part of this initiative.
Okay, so at this moment I'm going to ask you to just relax, enjoy yourself, and just sit down as we listen to some rendition by Sheep. And then at the same time, there are some drinks at the back and fingers for you to indulge yourself. After which, Honourable Minister, may I ask you to please join them here. And then feel free to network as we hand over to
I saw you. I think you say something. That's what it's going to be on kids for tackles. So you need to do I was struggling to remember, but I said, I remember sometimes I was in the flight, when I was going about it, I was starting on the radio, and I said to all my crew, what's
It's the way that you make me feel so safe, and the way that you make me feel like I'm superhuman. But as the tears roll down the ocean of my feelings, you made sure the waves caress my feet. Yeah. Ooh. Only you make me feel this good. Only you, yeah, you can make me feel this good. Ooh, on the brink of a major downfall, choked up by anxiety, crippled by my flaws. Cradle me in your loving arms and put my problems to sleep. Pull me to the shallow end when it's getting too deep. Ooh, it's only you, Lord, you. Only you makes me feel this good. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Only you, yeah, yeah, you can make me feel this good. Oh, 'cause it's only you. It's only you, Lord, you. Yeah, it's only you. Yeah. Thank you. The next song is called Introvert, Extrovert, and I just hope you guys enjoy it. Room full of people feel so alone. Only been here a minute and I already want to go home. On the blind side of a private joke. So let me just sit here and smile politely, then I feel like I belong. No request, can I be left alone and still have you? Fall again, can I please fall on my own and still have you catch me? Oh na 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 na, oh na na na, oh na 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 na, oh na na na. A room full of people feel so alone. Yeah, only been here a minute and I already wanna go home. On the blind side of a private joke. So let me just sit here and smile like and maybe I'll feel like I belong. Got to request, can I be left alone and still have you here? And if I fall again, still catch me to request. Can I be left alone and still have you here? And if I fall, please catch me. Oh, na na na, oh na na na, oh na 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 na, oh na na, oh na na, oh na na, oh na na na, oh na na. So request. Left alone. Oh, one more time, please, please, catch me, yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Thank you. A special song, I guess, and it's basically going to be about my culture and myself. Insecurities weigh me down, and every other day I swear I wear a frown. I need something to encourage me, so I spend more time on my knees. I'm looking, I'm searching for my identity. What is this color? What does it mean? I'm melanin and more, melanin and more, melanin and more. I'm melanin and more, melanin and more, melanin and more. See, all that I have it is the Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a great evening so far. I think the rest of the evening we're going to open it up to networking for you to have some drinks and interact. And in that period as well, you can go ahead and also pick up your passes, the speakers, and the passes of your affiliates and associates who are going to be coming to the venue with you tomorrow. I'm using Mark Taylor's passes as a sample for everyone. I also see one of our speakers who's flown all the way from Nigeria, the president of ACT Foundation, Osai Alile. So we're very grateful for coming all the way from Nigeria to speak here tonight. And of course, yes, we all the way from Asia, all the way from India. We have a lady who's going to be performing for us tomorrow, and also on Wednesday at the Gala dinner. We have acts from India, we have from South Africa. We're expecting the Ghanaians to arrive, I think, tomorrow morning. And we have DJ Kupi, who is flying today or tomorrow to perform on Wednesday. One of the most influential DJs on the continent of Africa. And so we have a variety of artists and performers. But just to give you a taste of what she's going to be doing tomorrow, please welcome Preeti Raji all the way from India.
Namaste to everybody here. I'm from India, and it is our culture. I'm going to be singing the traditional form of South Indian classical music. It's called the Carnatic music, and it's a culture that we sit on the floor and perform. So if you don't mind, I'm going to be sitting on the floor. I'm going to be performing. Venkatachalanilayam Vaikunthapuravaasam Venkatachalanilayam Vaikunthapuravaasam Pankajanetram Paramapavitram Pankajanetram Paramapavitram Shangachakradhara Chinmaya Rupam Venkatachalanilayam Vaikunthapuravaasam Ambujodhava Vinotam Aganita Gunanamam Ambujodhava Vinotam Aganita Gunanamam Tumburu Narada Gana Vilolam Tumburu Narada Gana Vilolam Venkatachalanilayam Vaikunthapuravaasam Magara Kundaladhara Madana Gopalam Magara Kundaladhara Madana Gopalam Bhakta Vosakashi Purandara Vitalam Bhakta Vosakashi Purandara Vitalam Venkatachalanilayam That's one song on Lord Venkatachalanilayam, and it's about how he loves to dress up, and that's how we see him. So it's a song on one of the idols that we worship. And this next song is on Lord Krishna, and he is known to be one of the most mischievous gods in India. And, he's supposed to be very well known for his love for Radha as well. So this is a song about Lord Krishna. Parvadiyum mugam ninendanam parapashamiga bhagade kanna parvadiyum mugam ninendanam மனமுகத்து சற்று மனமது நோக்கினோம் மோன முகம் வந்து காணுதே மோன முகம் வந்து காணுதே தெளிவான தண்ணீர் தடத்து சிந்தனை மாற்றினோம் சிரித்த முகம் வந்து மோனுதே சிரித்த முகம் வந்து மோனுதே காண கோயில் குரலில் தலை நீனோம் காண குழலோசை மயக்குதே காண கோயில் குரலில் தலை நீனோம் காண குழலோசை மயக்குதே கருத்த குழலுடன் நிறுத்த மயசிர நிறுத்தி அமைத்து திருத்திடே காணமயிலாடும் மூல குயில் பாடும் நீத நதியோடும் வனத்திலே குழல் முதல் இசை குழைய வரும் இசையில் குழலுடனிலே கதிரும் மதிரும் என வீடுகளில் நளினமான சரணத்திலே கலிங்கஞ்சிரத்திலே கதித்த பதத்திலே என் மனத்தை பிரதி பிரதி தோறும் கழுதுரு கவனம் தருக பதம் கருணை பாதடியும் முகம் நினைத்து நினைந்து உள்ளம் பரவசமிதவாகத்தே கண்ணா
Ladies and gentlemen, please give Preeti Raja a big round of applause. At this junction, I'm going to invite everyone to go ahead and have some drinks and network and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And please remember to pick up your passes and your various materials of the program. Thank you and God bless you. See you tomorrow. So it's networking for the rest of the evening.
About the Russian is it been confirmed as that's
Yes, I think, I suspect what you were saying.
only comes from yeah.
But don't worry,
big city chief from past from the Ashanti region of Ashanti region of God. Like hence the and everything. You want to get into it? No. It's going to be like this. You're going to be like this from home. Wow. Yeah. The future. Go for it.
Very nice meeting you. I look forward to hearing
Thank you.